Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage and the Monday night live stream where we mostly talk about classic cars. Mustangs, Camaros, Mopars, Studebakers, Buicks, just about anything really. And we try to keep on topic with that. We try to answer questions. People have questions about projects and how to do things. So I try to answer those questions. If I can't, then let's see if I can get this right. Oh, I've got it right. I have a group of people on the chat over there who are pretty knowledgeable and they can help out as well. I know I've run into internet problems before. So if it freezes up for any reason, just hang in there. Usually it clears out and becomes okay. I've had people offer me some assistance in doing this and what can be wrong. And I've tried to implement what they've told me to do. And so anyway, I've already seen the little up in the corner over here. It shows me a little like Wi-Fi thing. I've disabled the Wi-Fi on this computer. It is disabled. It's in airplane mode. There's no reason why it should ever try to go to Wi-Fi, but I did see the little symbol. So if it does, I don't know what else to do. I'm really just have to shoot the computer and start over. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. Hope you all had a happy 4th of July and, a good rest of the year overall. We need to have a good time. So let me see who's here. We have right off the bat, we have Terry Baptist checking in. He's ready to go from Pinellas Park, Florida. Greg's Workshop checking in from Australia. Terry Keithley. Hi, Barry. Hope you and your family had a good 4th. We did, actually. We didn't do anything. A lot of people go to the lake or go, celebrate, do things. We considered going back to the lake this past weekend, but we also know in the past that on the 4th of July, the lake is crowded and full, lots of people causing problems, whatever. So we just decided, let's just stay home. So we just spent the night here at home, watching some TV and chillaxing. We had fireworks going on all around us. I mean, it was crazy, but we just relaxed. So it was good. Don Thompson, hello, Barry and folks. Glad you're here. David and Cheryl, hope everyone had a good 4th. We are both here tonight. Okay, so you get a David Bell or a Dave Bell and a Cheryl Bell since you're both here. And Dawn says, ding for the Dave. Yes. Terry Baptist, happy belated 4th to everyone from west of Savannah, Georgia. Well, glad you're here. I'm technically west of Savannah, Georgia as well. Dave and Cheryl, yep, got the night off to be here with everyone. Cool. Wally checking in. Good evening, everyone. Hope all enjoyed the festivities on both sides of the border. I think we all did. I just hope nobody got injured. You know what I mean? I don't watch the news, the quote unquote news. So I don't know, usually you hear of incidents where people blew a hand off or whatever because they were doing something dumb. So I hope I don't even hear. I don't know. Hope nobody got hurt this over the weekend. Brian Bergman, hello, Barry and everyone. Hope all is well. Hot here in North Idaho. I've been hearing that it's hot up in that area. I had a visit from somebody this past weekend who was here from Wisconsin, Illinois, Wisconsin, and he returned and said the temperature was crazy. I mean, crazy hot up there. It's hotter there than it is here in Georgia. So, not that I'm complaining. Robert checking in, the Infernal Craftsman. Bob Knoll. Hello, Bear. This is Bob in Detroit. Hope you had a wonderful holiday. Yes, thank you. Hope you did too. DP, hi, Barry. Iron Man on the dash. Yep. On the dash pad. On the dash pad. On the dash pad. The installed dash pad. I get a bell for that. Crash Rider. Hello from sunny Southern Indiana. Robert, I'll figure out your internet issues at the end of the month. Okay. Well, it might be okay. I mean, I'm not going to jinx it, but right now it's not doing anything crazy. Rick Gain, hello, looking for a couple of hours of relaxation time chatting about Mustangs. Good. Glad you're here. Ron Bell, checking in from Northeast Tennessee. Sebastian, nice shirt. Yes. Thank you. Appreciate that. Probably my number one band. Probably a lot of people's number one band. Metallica would be up there, probably one or two in the whole scheme of things. Richard, hello, Barry. Quiet weekend at home for us too. Good. Robert, I cooked steaks on the grill yesterday. That was the limit of our excitement. Well, I can tell you this: we sat around watching Netflix, and basically we ate popcorn, and I had some beverages. That's about it. Just had some popcorn, chilled out. Let's see. Harvey checking in from New Jersey. Glad you're here. Thomas, nice to meet you, Barry. Tom from San Diego, California, father-son project with my son, but he joined the USA Navy, nuclear engineer machinist. Love your videos. Nice work, sir. Thank you. Glad you're here, Thomas. Appreciate that. And salute to your son for serving our country. Awesome. Brian, hey, Barry, been using my Evercoat Rage filler and clean sheets I got off your Amazon page. Love them both. Thanks for the suggestion. Yeah, that's the way to go. That's the way to go. Now, I will point out, somebody had mentioned, trying to think who it was. He might be on here tonight. I don't know. Somebody had mentioned what they do is they use both sides of the clean sheet. I typically just use the one side. Then I discovered, well, if it's smooth enough, you don't want to, if there's chunks and stuff on it, just toss it. But if you're just using a limited amount of, material and it's kind of flat, I've actually peeled it loose and flipped it back onto the back side, just on the hard side of the clean sheet board, and held it there, mixed up, if I need just a little bit of putty or whatever, and it worked out great. So, Bob, I'm currently putting a sway bar on my 67 Mustang, 1.1 inch. I sure hope this makes a difference. It'll do something. It'll do something. 1.1 inch. That's a pretty good size sway bar. I hope it does too. Terry Baptist, I've been painting all and assembling my 2003 Camaro ZL1 all day. Well, that's a good thing. I'll give you a bell for that, for being busy. Sebastian, perfect band for your future Mustang rides. Yes. Probably there's plenty of songs that, AC/DC has so many in their, what do they call it? Catalog, But one of the coolest songs that I like, that I listen to whenever I'm just in the mood for it, is called Ride On. AC/DC is known for their, 3 chords, right? They only have 3 chords, I think. But they're really got a lot of blues in them. And so if you haven't heard the song, it's called Ride On. It's slow, kind of ballad song. One of my favorite songs they perform. They don't have to get over done on a concert or anything that I know of. It's a little Wi-Fi thing. It's back. I don't know how it can possibly be there. I have Wi-Fi disabled completely. So I'm hoping they're still working. I'm hoping. Crash Rider, thumbs up, everyone. Yes, thumbs up. Dan Shaker. Dan Shaker checking in. He's in the big box. Glad you're here, Dan. And it's doing it. I don't understand how this is doing it. Dawn sent email with pic of my cowl wiper solution. I knocked out the nuts and for the holes, made patch and welded back together. Yeah, I saw the picture and I responded to it. Did a good job on that. Greg's Workshop says, Barry, glad you're here. Hey, Joe, happy 4th. Well, thank you, Terry. And Sebastian, Ride On, sung by Bon Scott. Definitely, yes. Yeah. That's just a nice song to chillax to. I hope this is working. Brian's leaving a comment for Bob. It's large enough sway bar on your Mustang. Keep an eye on the mounts. They can crack or even tear away under the added stress. Mustang's known for this. Well, that's probably a good point. Sometimes we can add stuff to a car that it's not capable of handling. Sometimes. So, yes, Sebastian, right on by Bon Scott. Yes. Terry, hope you had a happy 4th of July. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Terry saying, I guess can't make you out. I don't know what's going on here. There's no way this is working. No way. Okay, so let me do this. Let me try to close some stuff here. I don't know what else to do. I don't even know why this is doing this, because I am unlimited and it's telling me Windows can help you stay under your data limit. Enter your data limit. I don't have a data limit. Let me try that. Let me try that. I don't know. I hope it's working. It's getting okay. It's getting clear. Troy says. Okay, it's getting clearer. Good. Terry says all good now. Yeah, I see the little Wi-Fi thing went away. So that's what I don't understand. I've got unlimited data, but sometimes they just kind of do what they want. Sometimes. I noticed recently on my home computer, my main my desktop, if I'm not on a computer and I'm away and I come back and I click on a window to open it back up that I've left on, it says reconnecting to internet. So it's almost like they are now, if you're not actively using, the device in front of you, it's almost like they shut it down or something, so you're not using data, I guess. I don't know. I'm really surprised. I see we only have showing 29 people here. 30. Showing 30. Okay. Well, maybe we'll get some more. Again, I hope everything's working well. So what's been going on? Well, I posted some stuff to Instagram. I posted some stuff to, let's see. So Clark says, unlimited data means they throttle you back after a certain amount of usage. Well, I just went into my internet settings and I changed it to unlimited. It said like enter the amount. I changed it to unlimited. So maybe it'll be left alone. I don't know. Okay. So anyway, I posted some pictures to Instagram. I posted some to Facebook, and the headliner's in the car. The headliner is in the car. The dash pad is in the car. The passenger side bezel on above the glove box in the car. I've checked the heater controls on the Vintage Air. They're functioning. I connected the ductwork for the center, for the defrost ducts and for the center of the AC duct. I have not connected the outside ducts yet, the vents. And if somebody, this is where, let me see if I can find it first. I want to show you something, because this is confusing. Vintage Air gives you two different size pieces of duct tubing, this stretchy stuff. And the smaller size is 2-inch, diameter, and this is 2.5, I believe. The 2-inch goes to the center duct. It goes to the defrost ducts. Fits perfect. Fantastic. The 2.5-inch is intended to go to either side of the dash duct, the vents all the way on the side by your outside by the door. Well, you have this is the passenger side vent that attaches in. This is kind of a weird thing, by the way. It's actually, if you look at it, there's nothing holding this, right? But it's got like a spring clip. When you push this in and lock it up, it locks into a secondary piece. Okay, maybe somebody has some insight because I haven't researched this very far just yet. 2.5 inch, right? This is the piece that it's supposed to attach to. How does that attach to that? It's not even the same diameter. This is more like 2 inches, and this is huge. How? I don't understand it, because look, this thing's so big, you could put it around it, but it's not meant for that. But that's what is this? I don't understand it. You've got the little control lever on the bottom here, where you can open and close the little door inside. That's great. There's I don't even know, there's a bolt hole down here or some sort of hole. So I have to figure that out. Maybe there's something missing. Maybe there's something, a secondary piece that is supposed to fit on there. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. Robert says maybe they expect you to 3D print adapters. Yeah, that could be, because there's nothing else in the kit. I mean, it's the tubing. And in the pictures they show, it just goes into nothing. Like, it'll show the tubing, but it's just the tubing. It's like, this is where it connects. And it tells you this goes to your driver's side louver. This goes to your passenger side. Good luck figuring out how that connects. I don't know. There's no other pieces that would be part of that I can find. So that's kind of, it's going to slow me down a little bit, but I'm still going to get stuff put together. And anyway, so the dash pad's in, ductwork is in, center speaker, my dual cone speaker is in place. All that's bolted in. Of course, you know what happens whenever you start doing this stuff, suddenly you're missing little screws and little, it's like, where did these go? Because I have a habit, typically when I take something apart, especially a bolt nut combo, if I remove a nut that holds a panel in place, I will put the nut back on the post that it was part of. It's an easy way to keep track of something. Stays where it's supposed to be. Whenever you come back to it, put the piece in. Oh, there it is. Take the bolt off or nut off. Same way with bolts. You can do the same thing. Now, a lot of this stuff you can't necessarily just put it back in place, like the dash pad. Well, you probably saw the video where I took the thing apart. It has a piece of trim that has seven screws that hold the little trim piece in, and then it has 4 screws that hold the pad itself to the metal. So when you put the pad on, you put those screws in so that the pad can't move, and then the trim piece goes in after the windshield goes in. So I was getting ready to put the screws in, and I thought, oh, what did I do with those screws? I couldn't find them. So today I went to my shop vac, dumped it out, spreading stuff around. Sure enough, I found the screws because they apparently had gotten on the floor. Who knew? Vacuumed everything up and just sucked them in the shop vac. So I ended up finding them and getting it together. But that's always a struggle when it comes to that sort of thing. Terry Baptist, which processor does your computer? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm using an HP Pavilion. I don't know. Greg, car's looking nice. Thank you, Greg. Harvey, those pics look great on Instagram. Yeah, it looks really good. I mean, I'm very excited to have the dash pad in place. Now, of course, what does that mean? Well, part of that process, and I keep kind of stepping back just a little bit. I want to put the fenders on the car. And that's an easy thing to say. I want to go, let's put the fenders on the car. But the reality is, what could possibly happen if you have the fenders on the car when you're still working on the interior or stuff like that? So, one of the problems I had, and I've got 4 or 5 videos that I have to finish editing to get on YouTube. But one of the problems I had was the heater control. I did not have that complete for the vintage air system, because I had to find the hoses that would make sense connecting the tubing from the heater core to the heater control, then to the engine. I wanted to find some hose that would be bent just the way I like it, and I found them, and I have the part numbers. So anyway, I got that taken care of, and then I'm thinking, okay, put the strut, get the brace in place, the shock tower brace, and now I can put the fenders on. Oh, wait a minute. I have to finish putting the dash in place. Why don't I do that while the fenders are not in my way and I don't run a risk of, running into them or damaging things. So that's why I went ahead and put the dash pad in, because I want to get the paint booth empty. That's where the fenders and stuff are sitting, in the paint booth right now, and I need to get that empty. So anyway, that's why I put the dash pad in. And as soon as I started thinking about the dash pad, I'm like, well, before I put the dash pad in, I need to put the speaker in. Well, before I put the dash pad in, I should put in the ductwork for the AC, get that done. So it's kind of one of those things where, as I've said before, sequence is scored. Just like in the military, they talk about there's a sequence to doing things. So that's why I went ahead and did those things. But it's all working out. Lauren, go Habs, go. Okay. Robert, they speak of 3D print adapters. Terry Baptist, did you have a sore neck and shoulder after installing your headliner? Not really. I mean, for the most part, the only seat that's in the car is the driver's seat. Excuse me. So, that only thing that conflicted there was putting in the dome light. I leaned back on the seat, but otherwise, no. Now that I put all of the headliner in one day, I started on it. Got all the bows in place. I got the front and rear in place. And then I went in the house. Next day I come out and I finished the sides, putting in all those pieces. So yeah, it wasn't too bad. Brian, maybe your new air system is wireless. Yeah, or ductless. Robert, there was an elbow on the OE vents. Pics coming. Okay. Well, maybe I'm missing that. See? Okay. Now I know. And I don't have that. I'm going to download that real quick and show everybody. I don't have that in my inventory. And why? Who knows? Half the stuff that somebody else worked on over the life of this car, there's stuff missing, but this makes sense. Well, look at this. Now I get it. So that's probably what that screw hole is for. That's in the bottom down here. Probably holds that piece. So I have something to order. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. Travis, was the headliner a pain? It's all relative. I mean, honestly, I've only done a couple of headliners before, but the technique is the same. I can't say it was that difficult, but you can't be in a hurry. You just say that. And I used instead of using the little clips like everybody talks about, I used the pinch weld trim, the windlace stuff. and I had the old pieces, and I cut it into like inch and a half sections, and I used that to hold everything in place. In fact, they're still on the windshield in the back glass area, but it wasn't too bad. Terry, that's why you bag and tag things. Yes, that is very true. And I have bags to do that with, but I can tell you that I was, in at the time, it's one of those where as I'm filming things and I'm doing things, I wanted to get the dash out. And so I took the screws out, and I know they went to the floor. I know they did. And in my mind, I say, I'll get that after I'm done filming. And I didn't. So later on, as I'm doing something else, cleaning up, and I go, oh, something went into that canister. So I guess I technically bagged it. I just didn't have it tagged. Troy, I use Ziploc bags, put my parts in, then I write what's in the bag with a Sharpie. Yes. That's it. That's excellent. That's the way to do it. And I'm guilty of not doing that all the time. Now, a lot of times I will also even take pieces and stick them together and then write on the tape, this is whatever, like, anyway, just whatever. I'll write it on the tape. See, that stupid Wi-Fi thing is doing it again. It doesn't make any sense because it is disabled. James, got a CJ Pony parts delivery today. FedEx must play football with the packages, but nothing damaged. Well, that's a good thing. I think I showed it last week. I'll show it again because you brought it up. I received a package from NPD. This is the package I got. Look at this. So the end, this is one end. That's accordioned, right? That's the other end. What did they do to this thing? How did they do that? I mean, that thing is compressed 4 or 5 inches. What's inside, you ask? One of my pieces for my grill, which it turns out they sent me 2 driver's side pieces. Yeah. They came separately, but the 2 driver's side pieces. So, and I hope this is working. James says nothing was damaged. That's good. Let's see. Robert, you only need a driver's seat. Not only do you get there faster and using less gas, but you get there in a better mood. That's a great answer, Robert. JT, I barely back from vacation in Alabama. Well, I'm glad you're here. Jeff, awesome, man. You man, I appreciate that. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see if I can get if this is working or not. Trying to get Craig on here. Craig, if you put the one thing wrong, you have to start over. Yep. Yeah, that's the thing. There is a sequence to it. Okay, so Troy is talking to James. Jessica, sorry I'm late. Just got home from work. Well, I'm glad you're here anyway. That's a good sign. And drop shipped. Yeah, but not funny. No. And the thing is, I think both pieces that I got from them are damaged. Both driver's side pieces. So 65 gamer guy. I own a 68 Cougar XR7 and a 70 Cougar. I was wondering what your thoughts are about them, since they're the luxury version of a Mustang. I'm okay with them. They're not high on my list as far as cars go, but they're really just luxury Mustangs. I mean, when it comes down to it, a little bit longer, some different options and add-ons and different things, and nothing wrong with them. They're cool cars. I went to New Jersey and filmed 2 cars that a gentleman owns up there. and he has a convertible and a hardtop, and beautiful cars, just beautiful. So I like him. I mean, I don't have a desire necessarily to own one, but I do like them. Harvey emailed a few pics of your missing adapter. The hose adapter you have is correct. Okay. Well, let's hope that everything works. So okay. So Harvey sent me a picture that shows the adapter is supposed to be 2.5 inches. So that's a good thing. Yeah, he still has his in his car. Well, about 2.5, 2.25, 2.5. So it's all good. I just have to apparently order some. Apparently. And Robert has done the homework for me and found the NPD link. So good. That's awesome. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Harvey. Terry, or you got a boxes home that I don't know. I don't know what you said, Terry. You lost me. FedEx was that great. I don't know. Robert, congrats on 50,000 subscribers. Maybe I will be there in 20 years. I don't know, man. It's taken me, how long's it been? When did I start doing this? I don't know. I started making videos in like 2007 or something. And it's way too long. Just taken way too long. Because for the most part, those of you that are here know my videos are not about entertaining people necessarily. They're more about how-tos and why-tos and ideas and stuff like that. And, YouTube doesn't necessarily reward that very much. They just don't. They'd rather, show somebody falling off a boat or something. I don't know. People doing stupid things. They'd rather do that than to show semi-educational stuff, I guess. I don't know. That's how it is. That's how their business is designed. So you can't blame them. So Harvey says the adapter reduces the hose from 2.5 to 2.25 out to the vent. Okay. All right. Into 2.25. Okay. Well, I'll look at that a little harder, but that's good information. I appreciate that. Thank you, Harvey. So anyway, what I've done as I've been working on the car, of course, is video this and video that. I have, like I said, I did a video on the headliner, which is a pretty long video, probably longer than the other ones that I've been doing recently. I have a video putting in the back bumper, the letters on the car, the rear trim on the car. I did a video of connecting the heater connection up under the hood. I have that to go. Putting the dash in the car. I there's a lot of stuff that I've been filming, but I don't want to put out a video every day. I think it's overkill. So I'm still trying to do one like Wednesday and Friday and try to keep those things keep things moving. So at this point, now that I have the dash pad in the car, I can look at doing a couple different things. I can get the fenders on the car for sure. I think there's nothing else stopping me at this point. I could look at putting the glass in the car, which would be nice. So I may have to look a little harder at that. I still need to get let's see, I have the driver's side quarter window in and done. I still have to put in the passenger side quarter window, and I have the package shelf panel in place, but I need speakers for that. So I can't finish putting that in just yet. I want to put the rear panel in the back seat, like I said before. But again, I don't know that I want to put that in until I have the speakers in the car. There's a snowball effect. Got to get things moving in the right direction. But I know I can pretty sure I can go ahead and put the fenders on the car now. So it'll be really nice. I did take this out yesterday. Took it out of the garage. Drove it up and down the street a couple times. Because in the past I didn't have the headliner in the car, and there was stuff flipping around and getting in my, hitting me in the head. But now with the headliner all pushed up, I took it out. Like I said, drove up and down my street, and did a little burnout here and there, and nobody complained. Nobody complained, which is a good thing. So, anyway, Harvey, same here. I'm just showing the projects how I do it, and hopefully someone finds it useful. Yes. Yes. Terry, I found a 69 Dodge Dart for sale near me for $3,750. Comes with 2 engines and a transmission, and has a roll cage installed, and it looks like it was hit in the lower passenger side quarter panel. 69 Dart. I don't know if that's a good price or not. I haven't kept up with that stuff. Ricky videos are real and informative. That is much more valuable than somebody trying to get a car running in a field acting like a moron. That's the thing, though. People want to watch the moron, can't get a car started. Or pretending to be a moron, whatever. They push that out as a, watch this guy, be whatever. Terry, my phone is dumb. I said I got a box like that from FedEx. It makes your day. Okay. That's much better. I get that now. Yeah, it does make your day whenever you get that box and you go, oh, yay, look at that. It's crushed. Armando was wondering your thoughts on leaf springs. I was debating upgrading to a 5-leaf, but not sure if it's necessary or if it'll raise the back too high. Was wondering what's on yours. That's a good question. I know it's multi-leaf, but I don't know how many. I don't know. I could take a look quick and see if I can see them. I think I don't want to get too far. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves. So currently I have 4 leaves on my car. Now, I don't know the advantage of a 5-leaf. If there is any advantage, I don't know. But I have a 4-leaf. And I still have issues with the car. It's actually leaning left front low. So I may have to play with the springs a little bit. I don't know exactly what's going on, but it's just a little canted, and it bugs me a lot. David Sherrill, you should be called Professor Barry. Since you take the time to show us how things are done and educate all of us. Well, okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. Now, if they would pay me like a professor, that would be much better. Much better. So, anyway, things are progressing. Moving forward. And every little bit that you get in place just helps to make the car look so much better. So I'm just going to see myself if I can download a quick picture. Let me see if I can do this. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to try to pull this picture up. Just real quick. Okay. Maybe it'll work. So there's the dash pad and the passenger side trim bezel, whatever you want to call that piece. I'll point out that the little red horse that's in the trim, I don't know if they sell that or not. I have no idea. But I salvaged that out of my old piece and put it in. And what a world of difference having that together in the car. I mean, it just looks way better. Way better. So let me see where I'm at here. I'm going to pull that back down. Let me see where we're at. Bad Harry. Hi, Barry. Just licking my wounds from Canada day long weekend. Hope your 4th of July weekend was as good. Yeah, it was good. We didn't do anything. Just stayed at home, watched some Netflix with the dogs, had some popcorn, just relaxed. It's all I needed. Ben, congrats on the 50,000. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to, I said I have a bunch of videos that I need to get out, right? Well, one of those at some point I have to do a 50,000 subscriber video. I'll do a giveaway of some sort, but I have to there's so many things right now because of getting the car together and filming and editing and there's a lot, but I want to get all this stuff out there because I know people have been following this car for so long. That they want to see it done just as much as I do. 65 Gamer Guy, I know your videos that Jade isn't blue, but as you also stated, the color on camera looks like Acapulco blue, which is the color I painted my 70 Cougar. But on camera, it does look like it. Yeah, I think Acapulco blue is just a little bit darker, just a little darker. Clark, is the frame a little low in the left front, or is the bodywork a little low? I don't know. When I was doing the suspension on this car, putting it back together, one of the things I did, I cut, I think half a coil out of the top of each spring, just to bring it down a little. But I don't know if I did something different to one side or the other. I don't know for sure. It's been so long. So I'm going to have to revisit some things. I may end up putting the car back up in the air on jack stands, maybe at the pinch welds, do some drop measurements, and see if anything is off. As far as the frame rails, if they're okay side to side and all that sort of thing. If I can figure that out, once I know the car is true, let's say, then I can look more towards the suspension. That's a simple way to eliminate one or the other, I think, is to make sure the car is square, which it should be, and then start tackling suspension issues. It could be a matter of the coil springs aren't the same height. I don't know. I'd hate to have to take everything back apart, which, now that you mention it, the fender's off the car. Maybe I should do that now and make sure it's right before I go any further. Harvey, love the Infernal Craftsman's videos. He addresses the audience like a friend that stopped at the garage for a chat about progress on the build. Yeah. Can't argue that. Good point. Terry says I think you're trying to say coilover shocks on the back. Yeah. Could probably do that. Ben, just finished Jade, job number 1. Yeah, that is true. Good point. Don Thompson, we stayed at home and worked on Betsy. That's a good call, Don. Give you a bell for that. Troy, it could be the girth of the driver, just thinking out loud. Well, hey, man, I'm not that big. Well, I'm not tiny, but I'm not that big. But you know what? The guy who had it before me could have been big. Maybe that was it. Just kind of worked it into it. He says, Robert says, I'm just as boring in real life as I am in my videos. I'm just sharing the projects in the shop. Well, I think we had a good time when you were here. Can't be that boring, I know you can cook. That's a plus. Anyway, so today, as I was doing this sort of thing, both my sons came home, or my youngest son, who is actually going through firefighter school, let's say. He's working on his EMT. He's going to be a firefighter. He came home to change oil in his car. So I got to talk to him, which is great because I don't get to see him very often. At least it seems that way. And so we got to talk a little bit, spend some time together and change oil in his car. And then my other son, who came for a visit, he talked to me last week and he said, Dad, my left front wheel is making a grinding noise. I was like, yeah, you need brakes. So while he was here, he changed the oil in his wife's vehicle. And then I did the brake jobs on his car, let him, observe and watch. And I pointed out all the things you need to do. Because one day maybe he'll have to do that himself. But I like being able to do that. It's what I do. I mean, it's rough sometimes whenever I'm trying to observe somebody else do something, and I'm like, just get out of the way. Just get out of the way. Let me get it done. That's always been a problem for me. Robert, I'll have to leave an extra coil on the driver's side so it's even with me in it. Oh, never mind. This is going to be her car, and she is like a feather. Well, she might want you to drive it sometimes, though. Got to plan ahead. Wally, find a shop with 4 scales to weigh each corner of the car to see weight distribution. That's a good point, too, Wally. Actually, I think I have a friend who has a set of scales. He's the one that has he has what was the Castrol drag car, which is now looks like, well, mostly it's all together. Looks like this. And I think he has a set of scales. So good call. I may have to just say, hey, bring your stuff over here and let's get a look at it and see what's going on. Dr. Blast, your video was very helpful and informative on the front end modifications using Mustang 2 front end design kit. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Terry Baptist, 67 Jade have driven a Ford lately. 67 Jade. What? What's that about? Jade's is 68. Have you driven a Ford lately? Okay. So, I mean, I drove it yesterday. But anyway, so it was cool to have, both my sons come by. And then I had my grandson. He's going to be 2 very soon. And he, he's using words and wheel and work and button and push and all kinds of stuff. So it was fun to watch him take my wrenches out of my tray and just like push them into the wheel of my son's Mazda. Like he's just like trying to turn the nuts on the wheel. That was pretty cool. So I followed him around a little bit and just kind of let him do his thing. He was looking at Frank and truck. He's like, Papa's truck? I was like, yep. And so he was working on that too. He fixed it. Clark, you could just check the angle of the front control arms and compare. I could do that as well. That's a good point. I'm going to have to do something. And I've seen it. I think Jerry did it with his car. He had a problem with it offset. And I've seen other people do this too. Put a spacer, I think, under the right rear between the shot or the spring and the perch, so that it technically lowers the car slightly on the right rear to help compensate. You add a short block. Clark, or swap the coil side to side. Yeah, could do that too. Could do that. Probably should. If I'm going to do something, probably should do it while I have the fenders off the car. Yeah. So I'll have to consider that as well. Anyway. So like I said, things are working out. I'm getting things together. I've had people, I've been trying to help answer questions for people on Facebook. I had a contact from, Truck One LT, I think. He had emailed me and about his the pan in his Mustang. It was too short where it meets the rear, where it meets the wheelhouse. So it was too short side to side. And apparently he had posted on Facebook too that there was a lot of people that commented that everybody was having that problem, had a gap. And there was a variety of different solutions. One, you could just kind of hammer it over, weld the edge, hope for the best, which, it works. Another one was to rebend the flange, straighten it out and bend it up a little bit shorter and then weld it. Another idea, what I suggested too, was you could cut off the flange with a 1/4 inch lip on the bottom, weld that to the car, weld the other piece in, and then weld filler strips in. That way you keep the height of the flange and it looks more normal. So there was a lot of variations that people would come up with, and I hope he came up with something that worked for him, because I know he was having trouble with that. David Shuro, congrats on 50,000. Also, thanks to you and everyone on here that their tips and tricks. We now have most ovation. Most ovation to get back to work on the 64 and a half. Okay, that's a good word, I guess. It's a different word. Terry, you should get a Mustang Power Wheel. I don't know what I do with it. Oh, you're talking about for my grandson? Yeah. Right now he's into tractors. So he's got a couple of electric tractors and electric VW microbus. And he's just now starting to enjoy kind of riding it around. So hopefully he gets it all. He gets to the point where he wants something a little better. A little better. Terry, nice talking with you. I guess Jade looks good tonight. I guess what we're trying to say. Well, I'm glad you're here, Terry. Oh, really. Glad you're here. So, what else is going on out there? You know, I could sit here and just kind of ramble on, try to come up with things to talk about, or we can have, you know, input from viewers like you. You know, I haven't had anybody on the stream in a while, and I don't know if the system is going to work right. I hope things continue to work right. You know, I know it's crazy how this thing operates, but right now it looks like it's functioning. So maybe we can get somebody else on here and talk about some things. But I need some coffee. Everybody get some coffee. And this is still the 1820 brand that Rick Stevenson sent me. So I appreciate that. Always good to have coffee. I think what else was there? But yeah, probably one of the hardest things recently, as I talked about, you know, is trying to find the little things that are missing. Now, some of this car was a part, if you remember, if you look back at the first video of this car, I walked around and I filmed things. The trunk was just full of stuff. I mean, there was extra glass in there, extra trim, all the dash pieces, all kinds of stuff, just piled up inside the trunk. There was stuff in the interior and a variety of different things. Now, I have stayed in touch actually with the guy I bought the car from. I send him pictures occasionally and say, this is where it's at right now, you know? And I've toyed with the idea. I may have mentioned at some point that I found a manila folder with receipts in it and some documentation that told me who owned it. At least one guy before the guy that I bought it from. And so part of me kind of wants to contact that person and say, hey, you want to see what your car looks like? It might be kind of interesting. It might be kind of interesting just to have that, you know, kind of thing. Or maybe I don't do that at all. I haven't decided yet, because I'm not saying that I mean, I have paperwork that says the car is mine, it's registered and all that, but I don't know that. I doubt somebody would say, oh, that car was, you know, stolen, because the paperwork's documented, and even I have it registered. I already have a tag for this car, and if there was a, you know, stolen database or something, it would have flagged it. So anyway, I just thought it would be kind of neat to kind of do that. But what I want to do is, I would like to, at least the guy that I got the car from, maybe show it to him in person. So here it is, you know. And like, but what I was getting to is, you look at the first video of this car, it was just full of stuff. And the engine, you open the hood, and it was, I called it a Krylon rebuild. You know, they paint the engine and make it new, right? That's how you fix it. You paint the engine. Look at that, it's all shiny. It must have been rebuilt, but it was actually junk. So there's a very good possibility that items that I'm missing, I didn't misplace. They were just not there to begin with. In fact, the guy that owned the car before me, he had sent me a message and said, "Hey, I have a brand new powder coated sway bar for that car." And then he said, "Do you want to buy it?" I was like, "Wait a minute. Do I want to buy it? Why didn't it come with the car?" You know, kind of thing. Now you want me to buy it? I think it should have just came with the car. It should have been part of the package. But apparently he would rather sell it than give it to me. So I haven't even really considered that. Um, I know that there was a sway bar on this car. In fact, he said it was a rear sway bar. That's what it was, a rear sway bar. Uh, I am. Somewhere I have the front sway bar. When I redid all the suspension, I didn't put that front sway bar on, and I need to locate it. It's probably out in my shed with all the other pieces. 65. Jay looks great in my opinion. You have done an amazing job. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Terry, just let you know you're one of the most polite and friendly YouTubers on YouTube, and I enjoy watching your live streams. Well, thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. I mean, that's pretty much how I am, you know. Now, I may not have a lot of tolerance with people at a certain point in my life, but for the most part, this is pretty much how I am. Armando was wondering, did you upgrade your shock tower brace to a one-piece, or do you have the two-piece setup? I have the original two-piece setup. That's what came with it. That's what I left it in there. I was not overly concerned with having the export brace, as it's called. I think it'll be fine. You know, I'm not gonna be racing this car or anything like that. So just gonna leave it in there. David Sherrill, what is the difference between the CJ Pony and the Dynacorn full floor for 64.5 other than the coating and the price? Does anyone know? What I think is the difference, Cheryl, or David and Cheryl. I think now there were some people out there who Dynacorn is building their parts with their panels. Okay, so when they have the weld-through primer on them, you know, it's a Dynacorn part specific. So those parts are being built or assembled on their jigs or jig in China, whatever. So they're all being built like that. I think what's happening what CJ is doing is they're buying individual pieces that are made by different companies or whatever. It could be all of the same company, but I think they're piecing together, whether it's different brands or whatever, they're doing the same thing, but it's not like Dynacorn is doing it with all of their tooling specific, whereas I think CJ is building it with, you know, various other pieces. That's how I see it. There's also been somebody else out there. I can't remember who anymore, but they took they were doing the same thing like CJ is doing. They're taking pieces from X supplier and putting them on a jig and welding them together and then selling that as a full floor pan. So that's what I see as a difference. Now, is one better than the other? I don't know. Whether CJ is using the frame rail specific width, as I mentioned before with the Brooklyn Pony car, the other car, the convertible, the frame rails, the Dynacorn frame rails are fatter. Now, this only comes into play if you're trying to add on other pieces to those frame rails. If you are just leaving it alone, it's fine. It's actually a little stronger that way. So I don't know specifically if CJ is taking correct width frame rails and using them so that it's more accurate. See what I'm saying? You know, Dynacorn may have to limit what, like, let's say they don't have a licensing to make the frame rails exactly like Ford had them. How do you get around that? Well, you make them just a little bit bigger. Technically, it still does a job, but it's a little bit bigger. So maybe there's some play in how they're doing that. I don't know. But if CJ is building them with the correct width, that's probably more correct for the year models. The frame rails in the original cars. Just my opinion. Now somebody else may have another idea, but I think that's how I look at it. Robert, from what I can tell, both versions are the same and both from the same manufacturer, just that Dynacorn has a market on for the Weld-through primer. That could be too. I don't know. But I know that there are other people that were doing the building them independent of Dynacorn. Jessica, I only did that with my El Camino. However, a previous owner has a family friend used the truck, pick up and drop off his COE engine part of payment for the car. What did I miss? I only did it with El Camino. What are we talking about, Jessica? Did I miss something? I must have missed something. I don't. So, you're talking about maybe putting it together and having parts missing? I don't know. David Sherrill says, thanks for the info. Yes. Terry, what is your opinion on the new 2021 Ford Bronco? Well, okay. I can tell you this. Bronco is a cool name. It's a cool name. The ones that I have seen, and I don't know what they call them, they got the, I don't know, Bronco Sport or Bronco this, Bronco that, whatever. The ones that I have seen look like glorified Ford Escapes or whatever they are. Escape, they had the, what was it? They had Escape, Explorer, Expedition, Excursion, whatever. It's the ones that I saw look like they were just basically Ford Escapes with a different sheet metal on them. Now, that may be their baseline cheapo Bronco that they, call it. I haven't seen one that's maybe a bigger version. I don't know. I mean, I don't know for sure. They look kind of cool, Whether are they really as off-road capable as they say? I don't know. Can't say. But when you think about a Bronco, to me, my mind when I go from it's 66 to 7? That Bronco. When you get up to 78, 79 and it changed it. Now that's a good Bronco too, I guess. But the original one is the Bronco. And I think, obviously they're taking advantage of that. They got the name, they got the shape, that they are using that kind of gives it the look of the original Bronco, which is really just a copy of the Scout when it comes down to it. If you really, really want to get technical, my opinion, Ford just copied the Scout and called it the Bronco because Scout came out in 63, I think. And anyway, I think the new Bronco actually looks more like the Scout than it looks like the old Bronco. Just my opinion. Will they sell them? Yeah, I'm sure. It's like they'll probably come out with a Bronco Mustang and a Bronco T-Bird and, whatever they can throw Bronco on as far as a name to try to get people to buy them. So that's about as far as I can go with that. Robert, a lot of the Dynacorn parts come from Muscle Car GT, a supplier in Taiwan. They sell their parts in EDP to anyone but Weld-through primer to Dynacorn. Okay. Then I'll take your word for it. Now, I'd still like to see whether they use the same frame rails. I really would. I would like to see that. Greg Barry, I've been looking for a 63 Ford 1-ton truck. Woo! Yeah, I'm sure that's good luck with that. I don't know how many of those were available in Australia, but good luck with that. Jessica, talking to the previous owner about the old car. Oh, okay. Now I get it. Sorry. When I get off on these tangents and I'm rambling on. Okay, so the previous owner was a family friend. Okay. Well, the ones that I found, the people that owned the car before me, the second, like 2 steps back, I found a business card with his name on it. And I Googled it and I looked up the company, and he apparently still works at that company. It had a picture of him, showed the name of the place and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, interesting. So who knows? I might contact him. David Sherrill was just doing a restoration to how it was when it came out of the factory. So any parts that would bolt up, it would be original to the car, nothing performance or a new setup. Well, the only thing I can tell you is the frame rails. It's not that critical. However, the rear frame rails are fatter for Dynacorn and maybe for the other companies, as well. I don't know. That's the only thing that I could point out specifically that I know is different. And I know that for a fact. 65 Gamer Guy. Your thoughts on Borgeson power steering for the old Mustangs Cougars to replace the old Bendix power assist system? But that's what I have in this car right here. I have a Borgeson power steering setup that I put in this car. Just to give you some information, this car, when I got it, V8 automatic factory AC, and then whatever trim code somebody had mentioned before about the trim code on the car. So V8 automatic factory AC, and that was really it. So when I started building it, I wanted to, with the original intent for my wife to drive this car at some point was to make it so she could steer it and stop it and all that stuff. So I converted it to power steering, and I used the Borgeson system. I converted it to power brakes, and I used CSRP. And then I decided, well, I want the AC to work. So I pulled out all the original AC stuff, and I put in a vintage air. And that's why it's the way it is. So so far I'm happy with the system. It seems to work fine. I have videos on the process, and if you want, you can go back and look at those. They're in the playlist. Robert, I'd rather have the International. Would really like an International pickup truck. Yeah. I mean, I'm not against that at all. In fact, what I really like too is the old Willys pickups, like the 49 or whatever it was. They had the Willys, the Wagoneer. I guess maybe it was Jeep. Anyway, the one with the pointed nose, then it was all box. I think it was a Wagoneer, but then they had the trucks. Oh, those things. I love the looks of those trucks. Whoops. Terry, does all metal direct sell replacement body panels for 69 Dodge Dart? I don't know. I know they're making a lot of Dodge parts. I assume they do. I don't see why they wouldn't, but I don't know for sure. You have to look them up. I don't have a good answer for you. Oh, so Greg said there was no 63 Ford 1-tons in Australia. Okay. Lalita or Lahita, I don't know. Sir, price of Mustang 67 model. I don't know. You asking what they sell for here in the States? It can vary. Depends on what's been done. But I can't tell you. I don't know what they're going for. You just have to kind of do some Google searching. Harvey, hi Barry, could do guest appearance if you have time and send an invite. Well, I can do that. Be happy to have Harvey on here. I'll send you an invite. It's on its way. Okay. Clark, I'm going to use Classic Performance 400 Series kit. I'll let you know once it's in. It's $655 at CJ right now. And that is a power steering conversion kit. Okay. Yeah. Classic Performance 400. All right. That sounds good. Let us know. Brian, I had a 58 International B120 4x4. That thing was indestructible. Wish I still had it. That would be a beast. Yeah. That sounds cool. Yeah, my mind is saying Willys, I guess. Is Willys right? The Willys, the Wagoneer thing, that was just a subtle taper. In fact, I'll bring this up because we talked about movies before. A movie I was watching, what is it? Pluto TV? I don't know. We get Philo and Pluto TV. I see you, Harvey. I'll be right there. So it was 2 nights ago. I'm just clicking through, seeing what's on. And a movie from, I guess it's from the 60s. It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. If you remember seeing that movie, they had some cool cars in there and some different things, but they had one of those Willys, I think it was Wagoneer in there. The British guy was driving. And they ended up, I mean, some of the stunt work they did in that movie was crazy, but they ended up rolling that thing over. And it was kind of interesting to see that. But I hadn't seen that movie in years. All right. I see Harvey's outside of a nice night. Let's bring Harvey on the stream. There he is.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Very good. You're right. It is a nice night. It finally cooled off a little bit here in New Jersey. And I'm digging being outside and just,
Yeah.
Take out the great
outside the house. Where are you at?
I'm actually at our local firehouse in the backyard of it, kind of.
Okay.
We don't need to get into names, but that's the back of the building without a name on it.
Got it.
And yeah, it's pretty scenic around here. We got like a farm field on the one side in the back. And
okay.
Oh, there's we had a practice drill
vehicle.
recently where we practiced the vehicle extrication.
What was that?
That was a Durango that was really rusted out bad. It had rot like I've not seen in a car before. Like rockers were gone and stuff like that. And its final mission was to train us for some vehicle extrication.
Well, that's a good thing to do with a Durango.
Yeah, I felt guilty cutting it up, but it's for the greater good,
Yep.
Our guys love to get in and actually get hands-on stuff, so that if you do roll up on a scene, you've had your hands on the tools, you cut up a real car, and every time you do it, no matter how many times, you learn something new.
Yep. Well,
so
it's to that point. My family, we were all volunteers for our local ambulance service, and we also collaborated with the fire company and everything. But my dad would donate cars to cut up from a junkyard.
Oh, that's
so that
awesome.
They could get hands on, and cut them apart and get an idea how things work. So it was pretty cool.
Absolutely. You got it. Hey, I am way out of practice. I'm not sure if I remember how to switch the camera around.
I don't know either.
I'm going to give it a try. So if I lose you, I'll try and call you right back with the camera flipped. So let me see.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
We got one that says camera. No,
Nope.
that wasn't it.
That wasn't it.
Cam mic. That looks familiar. Camera. Facing front. Facing front.
Maybe you click that one and it switches.
There we go. All right. Let me see if I can make the picture bigger.
Oh. Well, that worked. That worked, Harvey. Okay. So yeah, that made the picture bigger. When you did that, my picture got bigger on my screen.
Yeah, then I tried to make it bigger and it dumped me, I think. So
there you go.
It's always better when you go sideways, right?
I guess. Yeah, I mean, I could pull my screen off and it would show the whole car then. Oh.
Yeah. Okay, either way.
Yeah, don't do that. Stay there.
Just like that?
Yeah, that's fine. That's good.
Okay. So anyway, this is where we've been with Tina. So I've been enjoying driving the car a lot lately.
Yeah.
And just working all those bugs out. When you put 4 frame rails and a drivetrain in a car and touch everything but the roof, things happen, So you gotta get like all the little kinks worked out, and nothing too bad. But I've been just driving it. I chased around some squeaks and rattles for a little bit and got that in pretty good shape.
Yep.
Tightening up some clips and things like that, and making some adjustments. But yeah, a lot different than the last time I think we did a live stream. I don't think it was on the road. Well, it's only been on the road about 6 weeks.
Okay.
But like I said, I think I've put maybe 600 or 700 miles on it. Just running it around.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, she's been cool. So still working on it, trying to figure out what to do next. My accomplishment this weekend was my hood was all epoxy primer, and there were some little imperfections, you know, so I kind of blocked it all down and did a 2K high build primer on it,
Right.
which will be what goes, you know, I'm going to let that dry a good long time and then block that down. And I really like the black hood. So I think in the end, I'm going to have a matte black single stage paint job on the hood, because I just like the black hood on the car.
Yeah.
With the green color, you know.
Yep.
So that'd be one of these things.
You almost need a hood scoop.
Well, you know, right now it's funny. I haven't had these vents in,
Right.
but the car runs nice and cool. The way it is. So I may leave them out for a little while, but they'll go back in, you know. But it has overheating hasn't been an issue at all with all the air coming out of this thing. It's been great, you know.
That's a good sign.
Yeah. So, and I'm going to do a marathon. You know, I can't wait to see your videos on headliners.
Yeah.
Because you know, my car inside is still pretty, if you can see that, it's kind of Spartan inside, you know.
Yeah.
But I've got 2 nice seats that I did over, so it's comfy.
Yeah. Those look good.
Yeah. And still my original back seat for now. I just threw that in yesterday because I had to take somebody somewhere, and I wasn't even running with the back seat in it, but I threw the original back seat in just so somebody could go somewhere with me.
Yeah.
And I did my dash a couple months back, and picked up a wheel because my other steering wheel was all moldy and mildewy and stuff like that. You know, so the insides, you know, it's bare bones, you know, no carpets yet. I just have one little piece in between the seats. But it's fun to drive. They don't have to be done to enjoy them, you know.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Now, how's the chrome on your quarter glass and vent windows?
So this is a used set of. I bought a couple used windows, gosh, like 3 or 4 years ago, and the chrome is in, I'll say, above average condition, not new.
Yeah,
this piece is actually stainless. My car, they were totally trashed, but this car is an air conditioned car, so it has tinted glass.
Right.
And my windows, the replacement windows were clear glass. So I found it pretty easy. You can pull a couple screws out, pop these things apart. There's a rubber gasket around the outside. I cleaned everything up, sprayed it down with some Windex so everything fit back together, and then just put everything back together with the used moldings I picked up.
Okay.
I made a very good driver quality window on both sides.
Right.
So that's where I'm at with the quarter windows. You know, of course, in the front, all new rubber seals in the vent windows and stuff like that. I don't have these seals in yet. Yep. But I'm going to be painting my interior panels. This is actually just epoxy primer. It looks good enough to leave, but I do want to put a finish coat of a enamel over it. It's a matte black enamel, just like the dashboard is. Okay. Before I throw my weather strips in. So that's coming.
I really like the way that green looks.
I love this matte green. I really do. So, and you know, I'm still sticking with the plan that you know, as I was working on other panels, you know, I finished the fender, its base, the doors base. I've done some sample panels, like I did my front valance already, and that's got a matte clear on it, which it really is very close, but the clear does change the color. Yep. It makes it a little darker. So the plan is still going to be, once the glass is edged in, or the glass is out, everything's edged in, it's going to be a marathon paint weekend where I paint the roof, scuff the sides, one more coat of base coat on the sides, and then matte clear on the whole car. So everything's going to kind of match up and be like one final coat of paint. Cool. But for now, she's driving around, and you know, what's epoxy primer is epoxy primer, and which pretty much is done with body work is a coat of base on it. Yep. And I'm not sure if it's good or bad, but it does get a lot of looks. Yeah. But it looks good. Cool. Yeah.
Robert points out your car is not blue.
No, this one is green. At least it looks green in my screen. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's green.
So I had a couple of old school torque thrust wheels. I think these are actually magnesium torque thrust wheels on the front. And I really didn't find another set to match them for the back for like the last 4 years. So I wound up buying a set of torque thrust Ds, which are about as close as you get to an original without being an original. And so I put them on a couple new back tires because the tires that I had on it they weren't really roadworthy.
Okay.
But yes, that's about it. I think our last walk around under the hood was a little incomplete.
Yeah.
So pretty good. And, you know, I kept the original steering components. You know, for one thing, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting to try and rebuild all this stuff. I never did a lot of that before, but the kits to rebuild the power steering pump, super cheap. You know, if you feel like taking it apart and taking a half a Saturday to put it back together. So I restored the pump. Same with the piston and the valves down on the steering linkage.
Yep.
New lines. This is really the 5.0 roller motor out of my 94 Mustang. But I found a 68 Galaxy in the junkyard, and I got all the brackets and pulleys and everything from that. So, you know, up front, it really looks like a 68 motor.
Yeah, it looks good.
Neat, you know?
Yep.
And I don't think I had my strut tower brace in the last time, but I put my one-piece brace in. I actually used that when I was building the car to keep the distance correct between the shock towers.
Right.
I liked having that extra security, you know, not only a measurement, but a piece bolted in. And when everything was welded in, I mean, the thing just drops in perfect, which is really nice. One
thing I've noticed while you're showing that is the export brace sits on top of the flange for the cowl, and it sits on top of the mounts for the shocks. And
yeah,
I've looked up original cars just to see how the two pieces go, and they go underneath the cowl and underneath the caps for the shock. I mean, on top of the shocks. So basically opposite of what you have there. Because yours are under the shocks, right?
Yeah, they are. Or the mounts underneath of the shock tower.
But the ones for the factory that I've seen, because it only uses the two back holes on the shock tower.
Yeah.
It sits on top. You take the nuts off and set that on and put the nuts on, and in the back, the flange goes underneath the cowl flange.
I got you. You know, so, I think I was actually trying to get this one under there.
Yeah,
but I realized that
you can't with that flange.
Raised up, you can't do it.
Nope.
Yeah. And then, you know, with a little research, I found out that I think the Shelby's, he made a plate that went underneath the cowl.
Okay.
And has matching holes for that, so that from the bottom up, you've got kind of the cowl sandwiched in between two pretty good pieces of metal.
Make it a little stiffer.
Yeah. So I fabricated one of those too, and you can't really see it from this angle.
Right.
But you know, just a little. It'll probably never get used, but what the heck, you know?
Yeah. It looks good.
Yeah.
Of course.
So I got
your air cleaner's crooked though.
You know, I straightened that out, and I think it vibrated over there earlier today. There we go. I know for us OCD people, that's a problem too.
Yeah.
So, there we go. And I know it says 289.
Yeah.
It's really a 5.0 roller motor, but that's a tribute to my 67 Mustang that got totaled.
Yep.
That air cleaner was off of that car. In fact, the carburetor's off of that car, and so is the distributor.
Okay.
It was kind of a little bit of an organ donor, just like the 94 was.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's about where we're at. One of the other things was a little tricky I had to do. I mean, it's probably not a big deal to some people, but when you put a late model 5.0 engine and starter and everything in, your solenoid doesn't do what it used to.
Okay.
Because you used to have a heavy wire coming off of this side of the solenoid that went down to the starter, and that's what energized the starter.
Okay.
The 5.0 has a heavy wire that goes down there that's hot all the time, and it's just a signal that touches off the starter when you turn the key.
Oh, interesting.
So what I did was I moved the heavy cable over to the same side as the feed off the battery.
Okay.
And then I just used the right connector on a wire. Now the solenoid, all it does is send a signal down to the starter when you turn the key.
So it's like two solenoids.
Yes, exactly. There's one on top of the starter.
Okay.
my turn the key, still has the same signal wire going to the solenoid. Still tells this to be positive for a second while the key's on. The only thing is, it's just feeding a smaller wire that goes down to the signal on the starter.
Right.
So
interesting.
Pretty easy once you figure it out. But
yeah.
You know, just one of those things from a late model engine to a, you know, from an older car.
Yeah.
But yeah, so under the hood, it's doing good so far. Like I said, put some miles on it.
So looks like you're putting hood pins in.
Well, the hood, the guy told me when I bought the hood, he says, this is off my race car, but it had been sitting inside his house for years, and it was not a rusty hood. So it had hood pins in it. And, you know, since my car is kind of a resto mod, it can have hood pins.
Yeah.
I could easily weld them closed, but I think I kind of like the idea of having hood pins.
Yeah, why not?
They're going to stay in there.
Yeah.
One thing when I started stripping the hood down was I found there was a hole around here that had been welded up and it looked like it was about the size of a 9mm bullet shell.
Oh.
And I thought, maybe somebody shot the hood. And then when I was stripping it, I found one back here. And then I found one over here.
Yeah.
And then my son Jordan's standing back looking at it, and he goes, that thing had a hood scoop on it at one time. And probably one of the factory, like a 69 Mach 1 or something would have.
Well, they would have had, there's 3 bolts per side, I think, on the factory style, and it's square. I don't think there's any in the center in the rear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It probably had one of those. I have a hood outside that has a big scoop on. In fact, the hood that was on Jade when I got it, it was really wide and kind of, it was okay. But the 69 or 68, 69 hood scoop, it's pretty even width all the way back. And I believe it has 3 bolts per side. And they're only like a 3/16 thread, diameter. They're not very big. Maybe quarter inch at the most. Yeah. So anyway,
I'm going to try and switch my camera back around here.
Okay.
Let me see if I can do it without dumping us again.
Okay.
Facing back.
So we've had some comments while we're doing this. Robert had confirmed the 1950s Willys had the pointed nose. I was talking about that earlier. Terry Baptist says for the Durango, save the rims off the Durango and sell them on Craigslist for the cut up Durango. So,
well, if we do that, we'll donate it to the fire department. That's not a problem.
Yeah. Derek Pro says, hi, Barry, everyone. Hope all's well. Jade's looking sweet. Brian Bergman, great looking 68 Harvey. I had a 68 Cougar I loved. Wish I still had that one too. Derek says, very nice. Harvey looks mean. So yeah, go with that. David Sherrill,
that's fine.
David Sherrill says you've done a good job, Harvey. We love the engine and engine compartment. So
thank you.
Bad Harry says if you have heating problems, put a shroud on radiator. It makes a huge difference.
I am ready to do that if it comes down to it. It's funny. This thing has run ice cold since I got it running. I don't know if it's because of the radiator, and it's actually out of an AC. Well, it's actually out of our white car, which was a factory AC car, and that car is heavily optioned. And I think it's the same gigantic radiator that would be in like maybe a big block. I'm not sure, but it's thick and it's as wide as you can possibly fit in the front end. Holds a lot of coolant, and the thing cools really well.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'm not, but if it does run into a problem, I will. Today was this past week was like 95 degrees, lots of humidity, god awful hot. And this thing never broke a sweat when I was driving. Even sitting in traffic, it was fine. So
that's rare.
Good.
That's rare.
The only thing is, although it's an AC car, when I rebuilt the heater box, I put I put all the stuff back inside the box that I could run AC to it, but I don't have a condenser or compressor or anything hooked up on it. So maybe if I didn't have that airflow with the condenser being restricted, I might have to go with a shroud or something like that, or maybe even a bigger fan or a clutch fan or something like that.
Yeah, very possible.
So, but anyway, so that's where Tina's at.
Okay.
Tina's doing good. Everything's going kind of good here. I guess I'm just enjoying the weather, getting out
Yeah.
driving a bit. After 4 years of cutting and welding, I just got tired of this thing sitting in the garage. I had to get out and get it on the road. And when I found out that Haggerty Insurance really was pretty cheap to put this thing on the road for the year, it was time to just get it moving, you know. So I like
Yeah.
driving a running project for the time being.
Well, that's where I need to get. I have insurance on this car, but I need to up it. I don't have nearly enough.
The value of them seems to go up every day.
Yeah.
And I know that you can lose one. Mine's insured for like 15,000, and I'm fine with that for now. I really don't even know what price to put on a car. It's probably not as much as I have work and time in it. At least I don't have a ton of cash in it.
Yeah.
You know, where do you stop? You know, like, I mean,
You're asking the wrong
where do
guy.
you stop? Yeah.
You're asking the wrong guy.
The more I put
keep
into
on-
it, the more I want it covered, you know?
I just keep on digging, you know. Yeah, I know that currently, I like my Model A, I have it insured for like 25 grand, which is probably reasonable. This, I don't have enough. I only have 5 on this right now. So I'm going to have to get it up there quite a bit. And, you know, got to be safe with it.
Absolutely. Because we know anything can happen anytime.
Yep. Well, like last night, I think it was last night, or night before, one of the two, I was walking my dogs kind of late at night. And I just walked down my driveway, you know, just to do it. I have a long driveway. I walk back up and I look, there's a fire going on. Like somebody has a bonfire going in the neighborhood right behind me. And it looks like it's in the woods. I mean, and we haven't, you know, I'm like, wait a minute. First of all, you have to have a permit now. You know, you can burn in the winter months, but when summer comes, you have to get a burn permit.
Yeah, it gets dry, and you can light up a neighborhood really easy.
Yeah. So I'm looking and I'm like, it's like probably not even 150 yards from my garage. And I'm thinking, man, if that thing jumps into the trees, what am I going to do? You know,
get out your garden hose and call me, right?
Yeah. Hurry up, get here as fast as you can. Because, you know, if you, it was maybe a year or two ago, similar situation. We had to the left rear of my shop, there's a neighborhood behind us, but we saw a fire in the woods, you know, like behind us. Well, it wasn't like a bonfire. It was a fire. Turns out it was a guy's shop. And inside the shop were 2 Mustangs. I didn't even know they were there. One was a 70 fastback, and the other one, I don't remember what it was. Might have been a 71 or 72, and I think it was a convertible. And he got the 70 out, and I don't know, and it was slightly damaged. And I don't know if he got the other one out, but the fire company came, and we were hearing explosions and stuff because he had chemicals and paint cans and all kinds of stuff in there. And I'm thinking, great. Now it's going to work its way over to our place. But it didn't, thankfully, obviously.
That's cool. Jeez. Yeah, scary when shops burn. There's all kinds of stuff inside them. Like you said, chemicals, cans of paint, gas.
Yep.
Propane tanks, whatever.
Yep.
Nothing that you really want to deal with.
No.
Yeah. No. Well, I'm about out of battery here.
Okay.
Thanks for the time to come on and say hi.
Yeah.
Your car's looking awesome. I'm going to keep looking to it for inspiration and how-tos as I'm putting mine together.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try to get it done as soon as I can, but I got to make sure I do it right, you know?
Oh, absolutely. That's one thing. Like I've taken my time with this car, and, you know, they say measure twice, cut once. I measure about 50 times and then think about cutting it and measure a couple more and then cut, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Research on parts, and you know, you get it right about 80% of the time, and some things still don't fit, or, you know, just parts differences from year to year, or aftermarket to not aftermarket. But whatever time you put into it, you know, I'm preaching to the choir, it's worth it in the end when the job comes together right, you know?
Well, and that's just it. Like even when I showed the video putting the taillights in the car, okay, and I talked about the detail and stuff of that, and I forgot to mention in that video that before I ever even painted the car or anything, I took one of those bezels out of the package and I test fitted it onto each one of those holes just to make sure. And sure enough, I had to modify like 4 of those holes because the hole was not centered properly.
Yeah.
So I had to elongate it and make sure it was fit. So just little things like that you don't really consider. You're like, oh, it's a brand new piece. It should fit. No.
No. They fit in the box.
Yeah.
But they don't fit in the car.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you go. I hope you have a good night. Be safe out there.
Same here, Barry. Take care. Talk to you
All right.
soon.
See you. All right. That was nice. Get to see an update on Harvey's car, running project. That's awesome. I just, I like that, honestly. I've talked about it. Getting this thing together is fantastic on one hand, but on the other hand, it's like, do I want to drive it? Yeah, feels kind of risky at a certain point. But I know Harvey's enjoying riding around in Tina, as he calls it. So let me see what else we have going on over here on the side. Ben had given me a $5 donation, super sticker, and that was, he says to your dad and his donor card. So thank you, Ben. I didn't get to ring the bell on that. What did I miss over here? Terry says, will you do a collaboration with another YouTube channel? I'd love to. I'd be happy with that. I've considered that before, but I guess I need to find the right person and have them be willing to be part of it as well. Let's see. Where are we at? We have Big David. Hello there. You're here. Derek said he picked up on the air cleaner too. Being crooked. Yeah. Yes, OCD. Robert, I've started my hunt for an Explorer to be an organ donor for the 66. Well, you're out there. My delay is happening. My Wi-Fi delay. Come on. We feel good too. Greg Schwartz is a very nice car. Talking about Harvey. Yes, I agree. Derek Pro, judging by your time and effort, Jade is worth at least $100,000. You know what? I can't argue that. Just about everything I work on, it seems like it's going to be worth that kind of money. Thank you for that. Zolfa. Hi, what car do you have? The car that's behind me is a 68 Mustang Coupe known as Jade. I have videos about the car, build of the car, disassembly, everything I've done to this car over the past 8 years, technically. So things are coming together right now, and it's being more fun to see it come together, be complete. But that's what it is. That's currently the car, one of the cars I have. So thank you for asking. Okay. So we have 62 watching. I've been getting a few notifications on my phone over here as well. So it looks like we're at kind of a lull at this point. What I might do, let me just look at something real quick. I was trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to show. I know I talked about Wally and his 68 convertible. And I don't know if he was here last week, so I'll bring this up since we're here right now. Wally had modified his pump. This is your pedal pump for your windshield washers. Now, I have not messed with this really much at all. My understanding is that this pump, if you look, I don't know if you can see it or not, but I want to make sure I don't get any spray on me. Apparently, there's a switch at the top of this junction block. Okay, and I have not tried this, so I don't know. But my understanding is when you press on the pedal, it opens up a little push pin right here. It releases that. And my understanding is it will activate the wipers. So it's almost like an intermittent wiper, but with your foot. And I'm looking forward to getting this tried out. But the problem is, and I shared this last week, all of the hose that I have is gone. This is all that was underneath the dash. So I found that there is a grommet that goes out to the firewall, and then these two hoses, one of which I'm sure would go to the washer bag, and then the other one would go, to the pump or to the sprayers. So I'm gonna have to replace some hoses. I may just have to do a little. These look like regular, like vacuum style hoses. If you want to get technical, the little one has like ribbing on it. If you're doing concourse correct. But I need to get this, in place. Before I do that, though, I'm going to take my get the kill mat, put in the rest of the kill mat on the driver's side, get all that taken care of. I've got to continue to do the floor, get the kill mat down on the floor, make sure everything is done in that area. So again, things are progressing, but there's also a lot of stuff that still has to happen. And I know I have to order more stuff. Like I've talked about it. I'm going to have to order my window, my drip rail trim. I have to order some of that. I'm going to order new sun visors because I realize that the ones I have are not pretty, honestly. I'm still on the fence about the vent windows because the chrome has got some pits in it. Not really excited about that. In fact, the quarter glass, even though it's in the car, I'm still debating on taking it back out because this car's so pretty, and to have that chrome have problems just doesn't make me feel good. So I'm really debating on that, making it better. Just put it that way. Brian, everyone have a good weekend. Time to make dinner here. Yeah. I haven't really probably eaten since, I don't know, 11 o'clock this morning. So yeah, I got to get some food in me too. Terry, is it okay with you because I would like to snail mail you some photos of my 2013 Z01 model car build? Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you have my email. You can send them. I don't know if I'll be able to pull them up or not. Here I'm assuming Z01 model car build. So you're talking about a model, I assume. Here's something I've been debating on for a while. I don't know if I have a picture of it or not, but I've pointed out that I used to race dirt track, 3/8 mile dirt track, and I had a 65 Chevelle or Malibu that I raced, and just recently I discovered on Amazon, and I may have to just go ahead and order a kit. They have model kits available. I think they're AMT model kits of 65 Chevelle that is a dirt track car. I was amazed. So I think I'm going to order at least one of those and try to build it up like my stock car that I had. I pointed out, I think I may have pointed out before, I had somebody, a guy that I follow on Instagram, he does little Matchbox cars, Hot Wheels stuff. He found a 65 Chevelle and he painted it up to look like my stock car. So I have a Hot Wheels car that is that matches my stock car that I raced. There's the email at the bottom of the screen. Terry. JoeDaddy'sGarage@gmail.com. So if you want to send it that way. And then we'll take a look at it. Time is running out. So I'm can't be around here too much longer. Getting hungry. Thomas Williams, keep the awesome videos. They're a huge help to us amateurs. Thank you. Like I said, I'm going to be having, I have more videos to load, but I've got to edit them down first. And I'm trying to film everything that I'm doing. So like I'll film putting the fenders on the car. I'm not gonna film putting in all the kill mat. It's kind of redundant, it's just pushing it into place, hitting with rollers. Um, but like I've got to build the gauge cluster. I'm not putting in the factory gauge cluster. I have a Dakota Digital dash cluster, have a brand new bezel that I'm going to put all that together. So I'm going to have to film that, just building the gauge cluster. And then, of course, putting it in the car, make sure everything works. So that's what I'll be doing. Derek, got to go to stay well, Barry, everyone. Glad you were here, Derek. Appreciate your input all the time. Very good to have you. All right. So unless Terry can, if he sends me an email tonight, that's fine. If not, we can do it Thursday, but we'll see how it goes. We'll give him a couple minutes here. Oh, here's something else I haven't tried yet. I'm going to show you this. I was at when I was hunting for heater hoses. But I wanted specific shaped heater hoses to put in the heater control in the car. I've been looking for some sort of lubricant to put on the quarter glass or the windows. And I happen to be at Napa. I haven't tried this yet, but I want to show you. This is called Sil Glide. So has anybody tried this stuff? Have you ever heard of it? Sil Glide. I don't know if it's good or not, but sorry, here's a comment on the side. But it's called Sil Glide, and it says non-melting, non-freezing, non-gumming, and weatherproof. And on the listing, it says prevents pad squeal for your brakes, eliminates caliper sticking, squeaking fan belts. I would not put any kind of lubricant on a fan belt. Trunk seals and weather stripping. And then on the back, I think it says applications, brake pads, calipers, rubber boots, fan belts. Again, I would not put lubricant on a fan belt. V-belts, weather stripping, trunk seals, and bumpers, speedometer cables, window channels. It says window channel specific. And hood strips and pads and rubber gaskets. Okay. Clark is saying, Barry, what if you invite yourself to chat and see if it looks green? I don't know if I could do that. I don't know how I would do that. I don't think that works. I don't know. I don't know if, wait a minute. I don't know if I can, what happens if I click on that? Interesting. Okay. Now I'm in the chat. Now I have an echo. Okay. That was enough of that. Now I don't know if this is going to work or not. Yeah, I think it did mess up the time something. Oh, look. That's not a good idea. Okay. Hopefully. Oh, now I don't know if I messed this up. Because I don't know how to get rid of this one. I don't know how to get rid of that other one. We've created a time loop of some sort. Okay. And I don't know how to get rid of that one. I hope this isn't messing things up. That was a bad idea. That was a bad idea, Clark. Bad idea, Clark. Let me see if okay. Let me get back. All right. So Terry, thank you for the images of Saints and photos. Please share them on your next live chat. Okay. You may have to remind me, but yeah, you can send those and we'll go from there. Dawn, I've always wanted a foot washer for Betsy. My grandpa 61 Falcon had one. Loved the intermittent wiper action. Okay. That's I mean, I don't know. I hope everything works with it. Doug one, it's Mama's car. You only get a test drive, Mama said. Okay. Thanks, Doug. Clark, unless you think it might destroy, yeah, it did mess up things. You're in your own bat cave now. All right, Dave and Cheryl, you need a bell for that one. Yeah, that was that messed up. If you ring the bell, that it would probably give it an infinite bell. Yeah, that's too that's too dangerous. Okay, all right. I'm going to call it a night. We're doing pretty good here. We're down to 49 viewers, which is fine. And look forward to more videos coming out. Make sure you hit the like button, share button, all that stuff. Help the channel grow. 50,000 subscribers. I would like to be at 100,000 by the end of the year. Why not? It'd be fantastic. But anyway, watch the videos, share the videos, all that stuff, and help things get better. Jessica says you broke the prime directive again. Yeah. Okay, so we'll be back on Thursday at 3:00, and I hopefully have more stuff done on a car. That's the goal. Get stuff together and get it done, because I want to be driving this thing very soon. Even if it's like Harvey at this point, if I get the glass in it, get some lights working, I could take it to the cruise in without being finished. I'd be fine with that. So Clark says, did you count as a viewer when you did that? Is the TVA calling? I don't know. All right. So we'll be back Thursday. Thanks for being here. I appreciate all your input. And until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.